What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you, Bill, Brian. Good morning, Cindy, Corey, Donna. Good morning to Jay, Jeff. We got Lauren in the house, Lucian, Nate, Shane. We got Tim King. Good morning to you. We got Tim Thurman in the house. Good morning to you. We got Santilla out in YouTube land. Good morning to Real Virtual Domain, E Queen, Santilla. I got you done. I got you on that list twice, but everybody else that's sitting in the background of YouTube, just watching, just stalking, it's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Clarice is here too. Good morning to you. We got Marco. Good morning. He said, where do you think Dell's heading? Yeah, we'll pull that up, but we got to start with Friday. So here's our daily candle on Friday. We were saying, okay, probably like a little resistance, maybe about that 525. Maybe that's if we were down on the day at one point, complete reversal. Most of it happened in the last, when did we really start picking up? About 12:20. 12:20 was the reversal Friday. And then really the last, probably about, hour of the market. We just went rampage, full on bull mode. So a lot of that does have to do with some of the rebalancing, I think. But that sentiment does get us up there to some pretty interesting levels, not past the next kind of resistance. So the first one I have coming in on the SPY is 528.84. The next one from there is about 529.36. After that, we'll call it 529.67. Pretty decent volume came in on Friday. We also are opening now with some kind of a retest gap as well too. So lots of resistance right above us. And this is probably a fadeable move, I would think. But I'd want to give the market a few minutes before we do it. So I would love to see a kind of that push into this 529.65, start hitting some of those levels, and then we look for the fade. So I don't know. The Bulls are trying. The Bulls tried to save it. Let's look at the monthly candle since we do have a new month. And that turned out to be a bullish engulfing candle. Okay, pretty wild. Take a look at the Qs real quick. Since we're on the monthly, we'll start with the monthly. Bullish engulfing candle opening above that red candle as well. The daily, similar, where we had that kind of run up, nice little hammer. We are gapping above that. This is actually the gap and go on Qs, so maybe Qs get a little bit more of a push, but we got 457.23 is the next kind of big resistance that I think we have to try to break through as a bull. Otherwise, you do have support right below us, so that's somewhere around 453.60. Let's check out TLT, see if the bond guys are buying any of this. As of right now, they are. So a little bit of a gap up there, still kind of hanging out in that range, but otherwise, on a technical basis, that's a good retest. And what would worry me a little bit on bonds is right now the location. So we're going to fib that last move. We are just above the 50% retracement. I got the 618 coming in right around $91. So we got to get through $91 if we want to kind of challenge and make a double top to 92.42, something like that. But otherwise, fairly decent close for the Bulls, and it happened toward the very, very end of the day. So not bad. All right, let's pull up GameStop. Closer says Friday was crazy. Yeah, Friday just kept going. It was nuts. And then we got, look at these sad targets that I put on. I think this is a trade that we took. What a sad target. I should have. Yeah. If I'm buying any GameStop, you just go for 100% gainers. That's it. But Roaring Kitty comes out last night around 8:05 p.m. with first he tweets out an Uno card, and then in Reddit, which he hasn't been active at all, he posts his balance sheet, which it's a hefty one, all GameStop, and it is, I think he's controlling about 17 million shares. He's got just under $200 million in games, and today well over. His entire portfolio is doubling today, easily. So we'll see if he decides to sell it or he's going to continue to post updates or whatever the case. But that's enough to get the meme stock people going. The calls are the interesting ones. So obviously he's got shares. That's fine. question is this rally sustainable? Is this going to continue? The call options are $20 calls. He's got 120,000 of them. They expired June 21st, so that's right after the earnings. The question is, one, can he afford to exercise those? And if so, what's the I think there's a bigger picture that nobody's talking about too. But what's the implication to him doing that? Right now, you have all those shares that he's holding. He's not letting people short those things out. It's going to become actually really, really tough for the shorts that are in this thing that are trapped to find shares to look to cover. So they were talking about that gamma squeeze. That position is interesting enough where I think there could be some more potential higher side on GameStop. I don't think the earnings really matter at this point. I think it'd be fantastic if GameStop comes out and says, "Okay, yeah, we actually did good this quarter," but nobody's paying attention to the fundamentals. I mean, that would be like an extra little icing on the cake. The Uno reverse card that he posted, that's to reverse the whole position to green, right? So it was a green Uno card. So in Uno, you're reversing that position. So he's reversing it, saying pretty much one big green candle is what he's looking for. But what people aren't talking about, regardless of GameStop, is the people that have all the shorts on the table that are going to have to look for some kind of liquidity to cover these positions, especially if GameStop continues to go higher. Which I have the next real resistance, if it matters, $48.36. I think we made it to 40. My resistance is 48.64, so I think we made it to $46 pre-market. Support starts coming in about 36.05. But if those guys are trapped and they need to borrow money or find some kind of liquidity to keep the hedge funds alive, that actually might spill into the rest of the market where they have to sell some NVIDIA, they have to sell some Tesla, they have to sell some Apple, some Google, some Dell. We did see that back in, I don't know if we could go back to GameStop the last time. The last time we started to get those squeezes. So we were somewhere around January 21st. 2021. And in March. Let's go back to the SPY real quick. I think on some of those big pumps from GameStop. Wow, I got the lines all over the place. So we want to go back a little further. But they might have to cover some. So we had some of these days where we just had these big drops. This is the May 2021. Then this is the January 2021. So yeah, they're short-lived, but there's a potential where the GameStop push actually could pull down the rest of the market. So that's what I'm waiting to see what happens. But if he doesn't want to sell, or if he exercises those contracts, which again, according to his last post that he made, which is the end of that last GameStop run, he had like $37 million, $40 million, something like that. And now all of a sudden his account has an extra $150 million in it. I don't know where the money came from, to be honest. But we'll see. Yeah, interest on the borrow is insane as well. It could cause some serious. I mean, whether you're into the meme stocks, if you own any, if you don't, if you're just sitting on the sidelines watching, this does have implications for the rest of the market, which I haven't really seen anybody really talk about yet. But we did see it back in 2021. And it could happen again. So I don't know. You got to keep your eye on GameStop. It's going to be definitely volatile today. I was planning on selling some calls against my positions that I have, but I do think it probably goes a little bit higher. So I'm going to kind of wait. I don't know. I haven't made all my shares free yet, but they are definitely in the green. So I don't know. AMC, same thing. So you'll probably see this one get a little pumped. I don't think this one's going to move as much as GameStop. For anybody that does have AMC, it's got potential. I mean, everything high short float. Maybe even FFIE. We saw that was pumping. Was it 2 weeks ago? A week or two ago? Maybe that one comes back alive. But AMC is at a little bit of resistance. So on a technical basis, again, not sure if it matters, but I'd like to see a break above 540, and then you got room up to about 670, which is still a decent move. You're already up uh, a full dollar already on a $4 stock, so pretty hefty move already. But we'll see. Nvidia and AMC over the weekend, they're both pushing out. They have new chips, so we have a little bit of a gap and go on Nvidia. Not bad. Still into a little bit of resistance, looking for like this is tough. uh see what happens at 1136.91. The next target up from there is 1148.29. And then looks like it probably will hit more all-time highs. We got that split coming out soon too, so maybe a little run up. They have the 10th. I thought it was June 7th. I thought when NVIDIA announced it, they said it was June 7th. TradingView was telling me it's the 10th. Or maybe you have to be in the shares to get the split. I don't know. I'm not quite sure why that says the 10th, but regardless, we'll probably have that little run up into NVIDIA as well. And again, positive news for both NVIDIA and AMD coming out this weekend. And let me move some lines on AMD. Look for your first resistance somewhere around 172.10. Not sure if we hit that pre-market. Let's see. It was the high point. Looks like 170.76. So did not hit that yet. That would be my first little resistance on that one. Otherwise, Friday we did come in with a high wave indecision candle. Looks like the decision is made. We're still at the opening price of this candle with decent volume. So some bears might want to try to keep this down. I wouldn't mind watching AMD today, see if we get some kind of a pullback. Little pullback. I think the pullback does get bought up though. And then bigger targets once we could actually break out. The next little spot that I see is like 177.63. So definitely some room on AMD as well. All right. You said, what about Dell? Where's that going? Let's see. Their earnings report it wasn't bad. Honestly, it wasn't. I mean, they still made a lot of money. They did shoot themselves in the foot by kind of lowering guidance, so that doesn't help. It's already gone pretty far. I would say I would like to see just some more indecision, some sideways chop. We do have this gap fill up here, so maybe that could get filled. I think that probably gets filled at some point, but 169.17 is not going to be an easy one. For us to get there, big resistance comes in at 147.57. Otherwise, if you want to trade this, you might. It's this resistance that gets me, but you could probably. I mean, that's a good looking hammer off of moving average 50 EMA on a daily, so not bad. Probably coming in at like 144.79, stop somewhere around 130. You have more than enough room for the gap fill, which is the play you'd probably be looking for on this one. If it comes down a little bit more, I would be looking for somewhere around the 121, 120 range. If I go long, this is what's kind of holding me up. If I go long here, I do have that 20 EMA I got to worry about giving me some resistance. And then I got 147.57. So if you do like Dell long, you think you get above that, that's definitely a 2-hour trade, just taking the kind of that candle, good volume, good breakout. You're going to need NVIDIA to run. You're going to need AMD to continue to run. Everything AI stay positive, but that is a gap that can fill. So I don't know if we go higher. I can't obviously predict that, but I do think this gap probably fills at some point. And it's a pretty good location on that pullback too. That was a good retest into that previous little pivot. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. I'm probably going to need a couple more days to close, but I would love some sideways chop, almost a couple days of do nothing, and then I think we have a much better shot of a breakout to the bull side of things. Keep in mind though too, we moved pretty crazy on Friday. And we have a big retest gap on SPY. I would not be surprised if we pull back. today at least. Some profit taking after that kind of just crazy move. Oh, the own date is 6/6. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Interesting. And then the actual shares reflect, I guess, on the 10th. Okay. Clarice says Disney. Disney. Really good day Friday. Really great close. 103.61 was the spot we had to break out. We did do that. Next resistance on this one is about 105.41. With that move, I'd just like to see a little pullback. So pull back into like 103.23 if you're not in it. But pretty healthy, kind of pop right at that 200, right where it had to. So not bad there, but I would like to see again just a little bit of retracement somewhere at 103.31. If you're taking this as a swing, you're probably throwing stop somewhere about $100, $100.50, somewhere in that range. Again, another big massive gap fill. This is going to be a tougher gap to fill. We did just have earnings too. That's going to be a tougher gap. So immediate target is probably into this 105.97. And then if we get past that, you still got a little bit of resistance on the way up. But probably target would be about 110.89. I still have shares for long term, but I got them closer to like $80. So I'm not selling, and if it comes back to 80, I'll be probably buying more. So long term, I still like Disney. I think it's fine. Short term, that is a impressive gap that we gotta kind of worry about. That's going to be a much harder gap fill, I think. All right, Santilla says, is NVDL also splitting with NVIDIA? That I don't know. Yeah. I don't I don't necessarily think they have to. I think it's just NVIDIA because NVDL is already a lot cheaper than NVIDIA, which is the point. But it should still track NVIDIA. Boyle, BOIL. I feel like this is another high short. Oh no, this is the natural gas ETF. Got you. Pretty decent gap and go. You do have resistance coming in this one, about $19.28. So to the upside, you're gonna have a little bit of resistance. I would like this one to fade before coming back. To buy it, look for like a 16.75. So if you can retest that, it will give you much better risk reward. But that was a nice break. This thing looks like a pretty good retest. You're also probably at the 618. I don't know where we want to start this fib, but we'll give it a go there somewhere. Yep. We'll start at this actual move. It was still below the 618. So that gap takes us back above it. But I wouldn't personally be buying it here for me. Not financial advice, but if this thing comes back down and we start to retest maybe the 1675, 1680, I wouldn't mind considering it. LUV. They're gonna have a lot of resistance with those moving averages. Not a bad bear trap though. Like that was pretty scary for some bulls. That was probably a spot. You also had some shorts come in, immediate reverse. The close on it wasn't bad from Friday. Again, we did close. I want to stay above 2670 on this. You got a little bit of resistance in here. Otherwise, the next target up higher. If we can get through this moving average, it's right in front of us. It's the 20 EMA. Let's look for targets to about 2792. And if we can break that pivot after that move, you might see a full-on reversal from LUV. But right now, it looks like it's going to be a tough path higher. MU. Micron. It's a gap and go. Right at the 20 EMA. Still got this noticeable double top, although this was one new higher high. I don't know if this pullback was enough. So we had the 618 from here, which that was measured off of here to here. So that was already 1618. We did manage to break a new high, which is fantastic. We almost have to do another fib at this point, at least on his last move. Let me get this thing off the screen, remove it. That's pretty close. It's close enough. Almost got to the 50% retracement. Didn't quite get there, but you do have some resistance starting somewhere in the 127.14, probably up to 129.34. I would need a little bit bigger of a pullback. I would like to see something like in the 119 retest. Otherwise, that is a gap and go. I'm just concerned about some of that resistance up there. Mongo database. I wouldn't go short on MU, but I don't know if I want to pull that trigger for the long yet. Mongo deep diving into the pits of massive sell-off. We're at an interesting spot where if this breaks, the bulls have a good move up to about 270, 225. We did throw a little bit of a, this looks interesting, actually. I would like to see if we get a little bit of selling maybe at the open, but that's a good bullish engulfing candle. Obviously, lots of volume coming from the earnings. I got about $30 to the higher side. If we play this candle specifically, that's 224 by, let's say, 2, so it's about $20 move. Down massive. I would like to see almost one break, sell, and then take that next break. I like it though. And it is a retest as well. So that's a gap that probably does fill. That's all the way back to 308. I don't know how easy it is for us to get there. Obviously, we got to get through this 270 zone first. But I do think that's probably a gap that ends up filling as well. And you got about $70 move up to it. I'm going to keep it on the list for day trading for sure. Let's see what else we got. Marvell. MRVL. Marvell Technologies. Interesting location for the open, but we're still in the bottom half of this candle. So it had a pretty decent sell-off on Friday when the rest of the market was kind of pushing. Not kind of pushing. The market was definitely pushing. So at least today it is a gap and go. We're still inside day. I would want this thing to pull back at least to $69.66 at minimum. If you want to try it, there is an element of a good risk reward on the trade. So if you're coming in with your stops underneath Friday, so about $67, and you can get in close to $69.50, let's say, just to keep the math simple. So that's 69.50, 67. So you got about $2.50 of risk. If it does want to make its way back here, that's a really nice game. It's more than 2 hours to the top, but I do think this is a tough candle to break out of. Most likely, if this thing gets a rally for today's targets, I'd be looking about $72.22. But again, I would like to see some kind of pullback first. That's a tough candle, even though it's a gap and go. You're probably looking for about a 50% retrace of this, and then people who are in this thing long has the opportunity to kind of get out, and then just hangs out for a little bit. Reddit RDDT. Yeah, I didn't check them out today, but they might get some sympathy off GameStop. That's an interesting gap and go too. Is everything gap and go? Like, seems like it. I don't know. Seems like it. But again, resistance on this one, 57.73. The next one is about 58.08. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't want to short Reddit with the GameStop news or GameStop going crazy. And there'll probably be a sympathy. Hood is another one, although they keep restricting trades. Everyone keeps complaining. But we do have Hood up another roughly 90 cents right now. Resistance on this one's going to be $22. If we could break 22, obviously, this is what's interesting on Hood. I do like Hood a lot. Like there's no volume whatsoever to really stop us up until probably like the $34 range. We are making new higher highs as well, but Hood could be an interesting sympathy. If anything in the meme, like whether it's AMC, GME, FFIE, Hood will probably react positively to all those. So in a weird way, obviously it's Hood. It's just one company, but in a weird way, it's kind of a meme ETF. You want to sum it up that way. But we'll see. I see Tesla kind of dipping a little bit pre-market. Let me know if you guys got any other stocks. We got 3.
Accessibility shortcuts.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Accessibility shortcuts. What button did I hit? Tesla. Let's see. Tesla. We're out of that downtrend, which I like. This one is just hanging out. So this one's flat to where we closed on Friday. This would be an interesting trade for me, at least. Let's see. I like that high wave indecision. So if we could get a break above that, I wouldn't mind trying to go bullish here. Stop, I would take right there. And then we just got to figure out where the targets would be. But for a swing trade perspective, otherwise today, look for resistance somewhere around 178.97. And then probably support around 175.79. But especially if it wants to chop, give me another inside day candle. That would probably be a trade that I would set up on Tesla. We shall see. Shopify. Shop had a good close on Friday too. Yeah, that one looks really good. That's going higher on the list. Again, it's a retest. We are opening right below, so I would like to see a little tiny pullback on this one, somewhere down to like 59.22. Target on this one would be about 62.04, so plenty of room. Good consolidation on this one. I don't know if we could get to $62 today because we do have a moving average in the way, so probably right into that 20 on the daily. Somewhere around 61.10, give or take. Otherwise, decent move. This is still 4 green candles in a row. Nice one. 57. That is the opening bell. So I'm going to be watching a lot of memes today. Probably also NVIDIA, AMD, Shopify as well. And we'll see if we find anything else out there in the market. But everybody out on YouTube land, I appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. Make sure if you have not done so already, you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It's going to be a meme day.